Hello, my name is Hurun Education and I'm the Chairman and Chief Researcher of the Hurun Report. Now, choosing a school for one's child is a big decision for pretty much every family. And today I'm delighted to bring you the highlights of the latest list that we put out, the Global High Schools list. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much to Hsbc, our partner that we put the list out in association with. It's the 2023 Hsbc Hurun Education Global High Schools list. Now, this list is the first of its kind, I believe, and I scoured the world with my team to find the top non-state schools, the independent schools, if you like, of the world, and put them into a ranking. 168 schools made the cut this year. Now, this list is sort of targeted on the one side at parents who are looking to, sort of understand which are the best schools in the world. It's also targeted at maybe teachers who are looking to get jobs and choose at the best schools, or even at university admissions officers who want to understand, sort of more about where these applicants are coming from. And if we look at the overseas study market, this is a really big market. China is #1 in the world and sends more students to study overseas than any other country, followed by India, followed by South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Germany, and various others as well. Now, how do you decide what is a good school? Well, methodology took, and I don't want to exaggerate here, but really took several years to come up with. 60% of this list is based on leavers' destinations, i.e. Where they matriculated to from the high school and which university they went on to. 20% is looking at the CCAs, the co-curricular activities, and mainly the the teaching staff, but also the physical campus that they've got. And 20% is the reputation of the school, looking at the living alumni, plus the desirability of the school, and so on and so forth. For the detailed methodology, please look at our press release. Now, what are the results of this list? First of all, let's look at the countries that these schools are based in. So we've got 168 schools in total in the world that made our cut. 48%, that's 80 schools, are based in the US. 38%, that's 63 schools, come from the UK. And rather surprisingly, 8%, that's 14 schools, came from China. The rest, there were 12 countries in total. There were 2 from India, 2 from Singapore, and then various other countries as well. For me, it was a surprise to see so many Chinese schools on the list or make the cut, because a lot of Chinese are looking to send their children to study overseas, whereas in fact they've got 14 really world-class schools on their doorstep. Now, let's look a bit more into the schools. So the average size of school is 1,000 students, and of which 140 are graduating this year. One of the things that really took me by surprise, although it probably shouldn't have when you think about it, is that, the average history of these schools is just under 200 years. 11 had more than 500 years of history, and 20 had less than 50 years of history. So, longevity in this industry, it plays a part. And how many of them are co-ed and how many of them are single-sex schools? Well, 70% are co-ed schools, and 30%, give or take, are single-sex, of which, funny enough, 2/3 are girls' schools and 1/3 are boys' schools. How many of them are day schools versus boarding schools? Well, again, it worked out that half of them are day school only, and half of them are providing boarding, full boarding schools. Well, actually, about 1/3 were full boarding schools, and then the rest had offered some form of boarding, but were sort of primarily still a day school. And there's so many different facets to this list. I mean, we looked at, for example, the fees. The average fee was well over $60,000 for a boarding school, over $45,000 for a day school. The American schools are the most expensive, but then again, the Americans offered the most financial aid. On average, these schools had offered 10% of students and financial aid, which amounted to an average of about 30% of the school fees themselves. The most generous in the US, and they offered about a quarter of the students 70% off the fees. The most generous schools in the UK were about 15% of the students get about just under half of their fees paid for. So there you have it. It's a list that took us a long time to put together. I hope that it can, give you some inspiration and maybe think about schools in a different way. Of course, it's not about the best school, it's about the right school for one's child. And So, take every list with a pinch of salt. But I really hope nonetheless that this can sort of give you some ideas. And at least if you're looking beyond the borders, you can actually compare these schools from the US and the UK and all around the world. It was a lot of work, but I hope that it's good reading for you. So if you've got any comments, please leave them. We've got an email that you can write to, or just send us comments online as well. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you finally also for our partner Hsbc for putting out this list with us. Thank you. Bye-bye.